Hello, and welcome back to Global Lens Media. Today, we're looking at a widely circulated handwritten letter attributed to Charlie Kirk, the co-founder of Turning Point USA. The image of the letter was shared publicly by his wife, Erica Kirk, in a post on Instagram, where it was described as one of the final love letters she received from him. Rather than focusing on private family matters, our goal here is to look at how online audiences interpret and react to emotionally charged material, and how quickly visual claims turn into narrative certainty. The central question circulating online is simple. Does the handwriting in this letter reasonably resemble known samples attributed to Charlie Kirk? But what makes this story especially revealing is not just the handwriting itself, it's the reaction. Across comment sections and reposts, a number of viewers have expressed strong skepticism. Some users argue that there is a disconnect between how Charlie Kirk speaks publicly and how the letter reads. One widely repeated reaction can be summarized like this. To them, someone who communicates publicly in a highly structured, articulate, and persuasive way would be unlikely to write what they describe as a disjointed or awkward personal letter. Several commenters go further and argue that the letter should have remained private, questioning why it was shared publicly at all. Others focus on specific wording inside the letter. Multiple commenters point out that Erica Kirk frequently refers to their children as the babies in her own public posts, and they question why the same phrasing appears in a letter attributed to Charlie. Some also question the signature itself, asking why a husband would sign a private love letter to his wife using initials rather than his full name. Another recurring theme in social media reactions centers on tone and messaging. Several viewers say the content of the letter appears to closely mirror themes Erica Kirk has publicly emphasized in interviews and social posts, such as repeated praise of her motherhood, statements about serving one another, and language about watching the children flourish. A number of commenters say that, to them, the letter reads less like a spontaneous personal note and more like what they describe as a collection of familiar public talking points. In some reactions, users go even further. A small but highly visible group of commenters claim that the handwriting appears not just sloppy, but intentionally sloppy, suggesting in their view that the letter was written to look rushed or imperfect on purpose. Some online reactions go as far as making serious personal accusations about motivation and honesty. It is important to pause here. At Global Lens Media, we do not treat anonymous social media speculation, especially speculation about a private individual, as evidence. These statements reflect how some people are reacting emotionally to the post, not what can be established factually. Another point frequently raised online relates to phrasing. Several commenters fixate on the line about growing a family, noting that Erica Kirk has previously used expressions such as growing a human when speaking about pregnancy. For some viewers, the repetition of the word growing stands out as a stylistic overlap they find unusual. A few comments even use dramatic language, suggesting that something feels off or doesn't sit right, without being able to point to any concrete verification beyond personal impression. This pattern is important to recognize. Much of the reaction online is built on perceived stylistic similarity, assumptions about how someone should write, expectations about how grief and private communication should be handled, not on verified documentation. From a media analysis perspective, the actual technical question remains narrow. Handwriting varies significantly based on speed, stress, emotional state, writing surface, pen type, and context. In commonly circulated writing samples attributed to Charlie Kirk, viewers often note uneven letter sizing, irregular spacing, and informal structure. However, in those samples, individual characters are usually still distinguishable and fairly consistent. In the letter shared on Instagram, many viewers notice overwritten characters, letters that appear incomplete, and letter shapes that change noticeably within the same word. The signature, CK with a heart, also appears visually separated from the body of the text. But once again, signatures frequently differ from everyday handwriting and are not reliable indicators on their own. Here is the most important point. A compressed social media image is not suitable for forensic handwriting analysis. Only a trained forensic document examiner, working with original documents and multiple verified samples, could responsibly assess authorship. At Global Lens Media, our role is not to decide who wrote the letter. Our role is to highlight how online audiences process emotionally powerful content and how easily speculation can harden into certainty without evidence. So we leave you with a media literacy question. When you read these reactions, do you feel they are based on verifiable indicators or on expectations about how people are supposed to behave, speak, and write? When you compare these two handwriting letters, what do you think? Do you think both of them are written by Charlie Kirk, but based on the time, urgency, the writing looks a bit different, or do you think this might be something Erica Kirk might have a hand on? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. This is Global Lens Media. Thank you for watching.